So this is a 1924 Bentley, 4.5 litre, 4-speed. It's currently in race trim, so the interior has been stripped out. It has the handbrake disconnected and reconnected onto the main brakes to make the braking better. The owner has used this a couple of times at Spa, Silverstone. It's currently ready for members meeting for the John Duff Trophy. But it has also done a lot of rallying. Peking-Paris is completed, which is a hard, grueling rally. So it has storage boxes on the side and behind that have all been removed for weight. The interior has been stripped out. As I said, the handbrake has been disconnected and reconnected onto the main brakes to make them stronger. It's quite a big car. It's not the best handling car, but it's fun to drive. The owner always jumps out and says he has a great time. So I think it's going to do well. It's a very reliable car. Got no issues with it and no dramas with it. It's a brilliant car.
Well, most of the car is original, apart from the modifications made for the Peking-Paris Rally, which is reinforcing of the chassis. There's some gear welded to the back to carry jacks and tools. So for this particular race, apart from taking those toolboxes off, taking the spare wheels off, taking the seats out and fitting aero screens, there's not many other modifications that are necessary. The car runs really well. The guys look after it absolutely superbly. And if you want to put the camera on the ground, you can see there's hardly a spot of oil, so the guys have done a great job.
We have known this car for years. It's been here for a long time. One of the mechanics here has looked after it for a long time. He's done the nut and bolt restoration on this car that this company did a few years ago. It's had a full paint job on it, engine's all been overhauled, gearbox, everything with it. So the full restoration of this car obviously takes quite a long time. It's hard to say exactly, but probably around 3,000 to 4,000 hours, possibly more. The parts are very rare, so a lot of things have to be bespokely made. You can't just buy them off the shelf, which obviously increases the value of everything and the restoration itself.
I have three cars which Woodham-Mortimer race prepare for me, and they do an excellent job on all the cars, no question about it. And what I really like is the guys have a team spirit, so they're great to work with, and you know, we have a good time together basically, and that's what it's all about. Bentley's been running great. It's only hampered by the driver, in fact. I was 1 second better in the race than I was in my qualifying. But the car's been running absolutely smoothly and no problems at all.
This is a 1951 Frazer-Nash. It's a Le Mans replica. It's done a lot of rallying over its history. It's currently in a race preparation mode. We have stripped the interior, put roll cage in. It's competing at the members meet this year. The owner of the car has done a lot of rallying in it. It's done the Mille once in it. It's done Bernina 3 or 4 times. It's a highly competitive car. It's a straight 6, 2 litre with a 4-speed manual gearbox. Been in the workshop for a few years now. It's probably been in preparation for the members meeting for about 4 months. It's a great handling car. We've also lowered the ride height a little bit to help that. It's very nippy. I think people don't think it's that quick, but it is. I remember following it up the Mille across the mountains, and it was hard to keep up with it, if I'm honest. The owner's a good driver, and it's a very, very quick car.
Frazer-Nash is a fantastic car to drive. It's incredibly light, it's well balanced, very responsive. When I drive it on the roads, it has no trouble keeping up with modern traffic. It's a really wonderful car. It's the epitome of the early 50s sports cars where you would drive it every day to work, and then at the weekends you drive it to the racing circuit, and without any modification, just race it. And it's a fabulous little car. It was owned by Roy Salvadori in the early 50s, and he raced it famously at Silverstone in 1952 and very nearly killed himself in it. I bought the car with advice from Woodham-Mortimer about 3 years ago, and I did the Mille in it last year, fully supported by Woodham-Mortimer, and that was a fantastic event. I did it together with my son, and it's here today, and I'm racing it for the first time. So yesterday in qualifying we had a bit of trouble with the gearbox, but that's just one of those things. I'm happy to say the guys worked late last night and they've been busy on it this morning, and I have every confidence it's going to be fixed and ready for this afternoon.